Live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports? We hope that you are making it a good one. We know that we are as well. Man, what an interesting day. Last night, we talked all night about Sean Payton blocking Ryan Nielsen to be the next defensive coordinator for the LSU Tigers. And now all of a sudden, it came to fruition. Now we're going to get into, we're going to talk about that, right? Like, so everybody that's here, everybody's joining the show. If it's your first time joining the show, my name is Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports? As I've mentioned, do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Everywhere that you listen to podcasts, don't forget to rate and subscribe with our good partners over at Believe. The $100 gift card giveaway is still going on. So all you got to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's right there at Are You Serious Sports if you are watching us live. But, man, this is going to be another fire show. I can feel it in my bones. Every time I hear the opening and the jingle, it gives me goosebumps. But tonight I got goosebumps because we got some more to talk about with Sean Payton and that petty ass of his. But before we get started, I see all of the comments. Nick Guidry with the fire emoji. Ryan says, unfreaking believable. Yeah, it's unfreaking believable. Unfreaking believable. I can't believe it. Jacob Cole says, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. 2 nights in a row, I'm going to sit here with my little Powerade Zero with no calories and no sugars. This is not a pay promotion, by the way, to Powerade. Because I do have a little bit of a sinus infection. Yes, no COVID. Got tested. And we're going to tee off on Sean Payton. But before we do that, as always, guys, we got to pay little bills around here. And we're going to talk a little bit about the pregame. LSU is going to be facing the Alabama Crimson Tide tonight. Oh, that Tiger. God, I hope they beat the dog crap out of Bama tonight. I can't stand an Alabama Crimson Tide. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Also, the LSU baseball schedule was released. It's going to be a very fun season for baseball. That's for sure. But before we get to that, guys, I talked to Mr. Jerry over at GM Varno & Sons today. I appreciate all of the RU Syrians heading over to Denham Springs, Louisiana. That's 2500 Florida Boulevard, Denham Springs, Louisiana, I might add, to go see our good friends over at GM Varno & Sons. They do RV repair, big rig overhauls, motorhome chassis, routine maintenance. Today, they did a lift kit in a truck for a great RU Syrian. Tire repair, tire rotations, tire sales. No job is too big or too small over at GM. Give them a call today at 225-664-9992. That's 225-664-9992. And tell them Blake Ruffino over at AYS sent you on by. And for the number one real estate team in all of the North Shore, go to team.kw.com. That's team.kw.com. And you can meet with one of their fantastic real estate agents. You can find the home that you've always been dreaming for. Just call them today, or call them tomorrow, rather, at 985-467-7355. That's 985-467-7355. And tell them your good friend, Mr. Blake Ruffino, sent you on by. Okay, I'm going to get to the comments. I hate missing y'all's comments, man. I hate missing y'all's comments. Tomorrow's going to be a comment-filled show. How about that? A comment-filled show tomorrow, and we'll talk. But right now, we got to talk about Sean Payton. And the pettiness that he continues to bestow. Let me say this because I think that there is some blame that needs to be going on with Ed Orgeron too. Not maybe a little, but LSU is not out of the wind here or out of the woods, so to speak. But this isn't on LSU as much as everybody's putting on to. I see some people doing a podcast earlier. Everybody's tagging me in the podcast before we come on this show. Oh my God, Blake, they're ripping LSU. Defend LSU. I'm not going to defend them on defend LSU on their show. Tell them to come over here and listen if they want to. So let's roll through this, okay? For the last, let's just say, what has it been? The last month, okay, LSU has been on a coaching search for a defensive coordinator. Let me stop right there. They've been on a DC coaching search for longer than that. We heard after the Auburn game. We heard after the Alabama game. We heard even after the Florida game that LSU was moving on from Bo Pelini. Not even 5-6 games into the season last year, LSU was wanting to move on for Bo Pelini. And everybody was asking, well, Blake, I hear that he's coming into the office late and leaving early. Well, you know what? Maybe 5 games into your second reign at LSU, maybe if they're going to buy you out anyway, what for? Hey, you don't want me here? Why do I need to be here? That should tell you the toxic nature, okay? A little bit of a toxic nature right there, right? So we've known since Alabama that Bo Pelini was getting canned. This isn't debatable at this point. Regardless if I thought that he should have gotten another year or you thought that, or you thought he should go. So for more than the last month, LSU should have been doing a coaching search. Now, Ed Orgeron has mentioned multiple times that he's had Austin Thomas with him. He's had Panamsky with him. We know for a fact that Scott Woodward met with Marcus Freeman and Virgil Osbury met with Marcus Freeman and his wife at Ruth Chris the night that he came in town. So with all of that being said, let's make the comments here and very, very, very clear. Ed Orgeron, and people are saying this. Blake, this is on Ed. He should have known that was in the contract. Man, have you ever signed the contract, like a multi-million-dollar contract or a $500,000 contract? It's not. I should have pulled this up earlier. Everybody listening to us on podcasts, it's a little notebook. It's not just, it's thicker than this. It's not just a couple pages of a contract. Ryan Nielsen does not strike to me to be the guy that would just pull one over on LSU. Everyone's talking about that he leveraged LSU to get this position. What position? Oh my God, he got an extension. Oh my God, he's the assistant head coach. Look how long it took Dan Campbell to get that position. A man who ran out on Matt Moscona's show, and Mike Detillier said that he specifically spoke with Ryan Nielsen and said that he wanted to be a college head coach. But yet he wasn't coming to LSU? BS. He was coming to LSU. He was going to be in Baton Rouge, and Sean Payton got petty because everybody wants to leave him. Players and sourcing, go ask anybody if it hasn't been tough to play for Sean Payton lately. But I got to tell you this. Rick Boone asked, I'm going to get to this comment, Rick, about UAB's defensive coordinator. We're going to talk about this shortly. But I am proud of the RU Syrians because y'all got, after the show, and you tagged me in all like 400 of them on Twitter, hashtag free Ryan Nielsen, at Sean Payton, you're petty. I commend you because you got that man to block his Twitter or to protect his Twitter so that nobody could, or he couldn't see anything. It's fantastic work. I applaud you. Fantastic work. But this whole, oh, well, Dennis Allen's getting a coaching interview and Dan Campbell is this and Terry Fontenot's that. Someone's going to have to explain to me. How you allow other coaches from your staff to not only go in the NFL, but in the not only in the same conference, but you've allowed people from inside that building, from the New Orleans Saints, to go to your arch rival. I don't give two Rudy Poos about draft picks. I don't care if it was compensation picks. I don't care about that. They let them walk. That's not What they did is based on the fact that he wanted to keep Ryan Nielsen, me and Sean Payton. And number two, the simple fact that Sean Payton didn't want another Joe Brady incident. That's all that this is. Now, let's get to Ed Orgeron. I see R. Clady's thing here, and I want to mention this because a lot of people asked me this today very quickly. R. Clady on Periscope said on Periscope that Shea Dixon says the Saints weren't letting Nielsen out of the contract he had passed on extension. So that is correct. So everybody's saying that the leverage that Ryan Nielsen was using LSU for leverage is complete BS because they already gave him this extension. Let me also talk on this too. Not only did he pass on the extension, Sean Payton ran out there to Jane Slater, the reporter or the lady with the NFL that covers the NFL. She ran out there with the news and broke the news. Sean Payton responded to her because it came from Sean Payton. Oh, this is the first that I'm hearing in reference to Ryan Nielsen going to the LSU Tigers. That is the biggest lie I've ever heard. And also, there's people poo-pooing on Ed Orgeron. And you know that I've been critical of Ed Orgeron when times that I feel are worth it. But Ed Orgeron 2 weeks ago when Jake Peetz was announced as the offensive coordinator told you that I think that I have my guy, but I need to be very patient. So you mean to tell me that Ed Orgeron, who went through the same exact process for Joe Brady and others that they brought on staff from the Saints, that he just so happened to this time, hey, you know what, guys? I'm not going to ask Sean Payton for an interview for Ryan Nielsen. Get out of here with that. And then I heard somebody today, because I was in the car and I forget where I was going, but somebody today, oh God, who was it? I forget who it was, but they said, oh, well, Sean Payton had absolutely no idea. Y'all got to stop with that. Look, I've been told not to say this, but I'm going to say this one just one last time. To all 372 of you that are actively listening to this right now, don't believe that BS, because that's all that is. I hate getting amped up. I want to talk about positive stuff. Let's get to some of these comments here. Jacob Cole says, if Sean Payton says he didn't know Nielsen has been a target for weeks, he's insulting the intelligence and his own at the same time. Bingo. Thank you, Jacob. Oh, that person said that, oh, he doesn't have time to worry about what the New Orleans Saints or what the LSU DC coaching search is. Bullshit. I'll just say it. Bullshit. Hey, if you don't want Joe Brady to go to LSU, listen, there's some petty stuff that Sean did. He openly and candidly came out and said that he thought that LSU offensively to Joe Brady is a crapshoot and a career ender. He went out in the media and said that, not me. You want to attack LSU. You want to block stuff. He did this to Ryan Nielsen before, guys. He's done this to Ryan Nielsen before and other coaches. Another thing. I'm going to get to some of these comments as we go on. Another thing. For the love of everything that is merciful and pure, everything, please stop telling me or trying to convince me. Well, I'm going to let that one ride. I'm going to let that one ride because if we go down that rabbit hole, basically it was like this. Let's just say this. Sean Payton wanted Ed Orgeron to come and kiss the ring okay, in the power struggle of Louisiana and say, oh, yeah, you're the daddy. You're the daddy. You're the king of football in the state of Louisiana. Come kiss the ring. For the life of me, I don't understand. I understand the business aspect of this, right? Like, I understand business. Business has to be business. But when a man accepts a job and then you go public with it. Now, I know that Ed Orgeron did some public things, but he never mentioned Ryan Nielsen's name. But you go out there and you start leaking stuff and going public like you didn't know. Man, by the way, you're probably not going to get a coach to come to LSU from the Saints for a while. This is toxic. This is going to be butting heads. And what's crazy enough to me, what's just absolutely baffling to me, is that when the New Orleans Saints wanted to come and have fans, the LSU Tigers were there with open arms saying, come on. Hey, brother, we understand. Come on. Sean Payton's pettiness. John Patton from Area Home Lending, one of the great sponsors of AYS, says that podcast that talked crap about LSU was a joke. Yeah, it was. It was. Danny Krantz says, ask Blake, so who's next up for Coach O? Well, that's an interesting point. So let's talk about who will be next for Coach O. Now, I've heard that John Barry, the linebackers coach, his name was always out there, but I hear that he doesn't play well with others. Pete Golding, there's been rumors in Tuscaloosa that Nick Saban wanted him out, but at the end of the day, it looks like those fences have been mended. So as much as the Pete Golding news has floated around, maybe one would appear that those fences have been mended. Talking about mended fences, that's exactly what they did with that assistant head coaching job for Ryan Nielsen. That's a mended fence. That position and title means as much as this Ricola rapper right here. Means nothing, y'all. That was funny. Y'all remember those Ricola commercials? Ricola. That's fun to say, man. That's fun to say on a live active podcast. This is something that I wanted to get into, but that's what I kind of paused myself on, is the comment that Brian just brought on Facebook Live. He says, I thought that Scott Woodward was a home run hire. This is how I was going to end it, but let's end this segment. But let's go here, right? Like, let's talk about this one. Because I do like Scott Woodward. Okay? Like, I do like Scott Woodward. You know what I hate, though? Is that you have not closed the deal. So as much as we want to put this one on Ed Orgeron, as much BS as Ed Orgeron takes, he's not in that contract. He's not. It's not his job to read and understand a contract like an attorney should, like an athletic director should. That's not his job. You mean to tell me so you mean to tell me in the 2 weeks that we were pretty sure that Ryan Nielsen was the next DC? Sorry, guys. That they didn't have the contract that he had already signed? That they hadn't been working through it? Come on, man. And someone in the NFL, someone in the Saints linked that to Jane Slater, by the way, just so that you know. Jane Slater got that leak from someone inside the Saints. Kyle, I keep seeing you. Says, Blake, go get Gillespie at Tulsa for the new DC. Hey, you better go get somebody. At this point, I don't know. Guys, you realize it took Alabama a day to get an offensive coordinator that people are laughing at with Bill O'Brien, and we don't have a DC. We had a month. Actually, let's just call it 2.5 months. We had 2.5 months. We don't have them. We struck out. We struck out on Marcus Freeman. We struck out on Barry Odom. We struck out, and you interviewed Zach Arnett. They've talked to other people about this position. We weren't really interested. Well, you better get interested now. You better be very interested now. Those people that you poo-pooed on weeks ago, and people inside that office will understand what I'm saying. Those guys you talked about or talked to weeks ago, now you're going to need them. And now you just struck out with Ryan Nielsen. It's, as Jack says right here on Facebook Live, I feel like you are creating, I feel like you are creating turmoil, Blake. Let that relationship be okay. I'm not creating turmoil. How am I the one creating turmoil here? They're the petty ones leaking it on Twitter. They're the ones going to Jane Slater and leaking it. That's not, Jack, essentially what you're trying to say is that it's my fault for creating tension. I'm sorry to tell you, hell, brother, it's already there. Blake Ruffino did not go to Sean Payton and not ask to interview Ryan Nielsen. That's Orgeron's fault. Plain and simple. Adam says, I think Sean knew Dennis Allen might be leaving and he wanted to keep Ryan. Okay, well, let's talk this one from the Saints. In a business perspective, Adam, you're probably dead right. You're probably dead right. And from a business perspective, I understand why they wanted to keep Ryan Nielsen. Completely understand it. But all of this could have been done behind closed doors without all of this getting public. None of this had to be made public. And now that it's out there, okay. Aaron Adams says, waited all day for the show, not disappointed as usual. Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate that, man. Kerry Jackson says 2 words, Pete Golding. I don't mind that. But, man, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to tell you this right now. You want to talk about a war. There is no way in hell, regardless of how bad the coach is, that I can see. I think that there is some entertaining that has gone on with LSU and Pete Golding. As I've told you before, I heard from some people, we know that Pete Golding's from Hammond, okay, that he wanted an interview with LSU. But those fences at Alabama might be okay now. Ain't no ways Nick Saban's going to let that lie down easy. Remember Lane Kiffin? He'll make sure that man gets a head coaching job at FAU before he ever steps a day on LSU's campus as a coach. It's unreal. Langua 21 says D. Allen was leaving plus a Glenn Allen leaving. Yeah. Chap Happy 28 says Pete is not coming. Yeah. As much as I would want him to, I don't think that he is. Buster says running out of time, Ed O gonna be out after this year with another lackluster hire. So this is interesting because Ed Orgeron's now starting to take some heat. Everybody in the comments, Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, if you think that Ed Orgeron should be taking heat and his seat is starting to get warm, give me a thumbs up. And let's watch these comments roll in and see what people think. Don Bridges says, when will O learn to be quiet? That's the art of the deal. It's easy for me, Don, to run out here and say, man, learn how to shut up. Because for an hour, 4 hours a week, my big booty runs out here and talks to every one of you. Well, Blake's a big mouth. Yeah, I get that. But sometimes you go, as my grandpappy would say, a steel tongue keeps a wise head. All right. Ryan Thibodeau says, ask Blake, can LSU recover from a PR standpoint to go get a great DC? Unless his name's Bill Belichick, no, not really. I mean, I don't know of a slam dunk hire at this point that they could go get that would remedy a PR nightmare. So, no. I don't. DeAndre says, we wasted time on Facebook Live. We wasted time and could have been interviewing other candidates. They should have read the contract. Yeah, they should have read the contract. But I also think, look at all these thumbs up coming in. But I also think, Craig Schilling. God, I love Craig. But I mean, look, I also think that there's a simple fact. God, look at all these, man. Jamie Hodges says, ask Blake, this might be more on Scott. Yeah. But Ed Orgeron's taking the heat from it. And Scott Woodward's not out there. Look, as much as it is, Ed Orgeron's taking the bullets for LSU right now and that team. He is not an attorney or an agent. And I'm pretty damn sure that Ryan Nielsen did not know what that was in his contract. Austin Thomas has been here for a freaking week and a half. So I'm going to give him a little bit of slack. We got to be better than this. Harold said Saban lost Saban lost a lot of assistants. I think he's trying. And Charlie Strong, he not letting Golden go to LSU. No, he's not letting Golden go anywhere. Adam Parr, our AYS Bama fan, says rumor is Saban matched the Texas offer to keep him in T-Town. So I'm assuming that he's locked in. Yeah, Pete's not going anywhere. Pete's not going anywhere, guys. So anyway, God, look at all these thumbs ups, man. Cheese and Pete's. Chap Abbey says, go get Glenn Schumann from Georgia. He would be a good one now. He would be a good one. No doubt about that. Man, I'm going to be honest. I feel okay. Actually, I feel perfect right now, but I got this stupid little sinus infection. It's like every minute and a half, it's like I got a cough. Stupid sinus infection. I haven't gone anywhere. I mean, my wife went and got my son Ben from daycare today because I know what people are going to do, even though, you know. Stephen Miller, my brother, Stephen says, no, there's no more HR hire to erase the BS that's been created. And look, and he's right. And even if they hired Bill Belichick, even if the craziest thing happened and they got the best DC of all time, they still went through this shit. Why didn't you go get him in the first place? Also, everybody's saying go get Jeremy Pruitt. Jeremy Pruitt's not going to be allowed to coach in the SEC. I know that I go on with Bill King tomorrow morning from Nashville Sports Radio, big Tennessee guy. He is not. I'm just telling you, he is not going to be in the SEC. He sure as hell ain't going to be at LSU. They're facing up to like 50 level 1 violations. All right, we're going to get to some basketball here because it comes up in about 30 minutes. Ryan Mayer says, Danny Krantz, I don't know. Free still calling all the escorts. We'll have to wait and see. Chris says, let's go get Jeremy Pruitt. There's no way that Jeremy Pruitt, they're going to allow that man back in the SEC. All right, let's play some bills around this thing right quick, and we'll get into some other stuff LSU related. And he commented earlier, you saw his name, my good friend, Mr. John Patton over at Area Home Lending. Guys, if you're thinking about buying a new home, saving money on the mortgage that you have now, or even doing that cash out refi, the timing has never been better. Get in touch with Mr. John Patton from Area Home Lending today, 225-663-2500, or shoot him an email at john@areahomelending.com. That's john@areahomelending.com. Tell him Blake Ruffino whatever AYS sent you by, and you might get a free appraisal. Also, our great friends over at the Drake Law Firm in downtown Ponchatoula, 154 West Pine Street, Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Give them a call if you need anything from their law services. 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600. Personal injury, criminal defense, real estate successions, they got you. Tell them Blake Ruffino sent you on by. Okay. Carl Dunn says, I saw Carl's comment. He says, well, the Woodward-Coach O relationship is getting more icy. I don't know how much I believe this source that told me this today, but he told me, I don't even really, I'm going to leave that one alone. He told me that he thinks that Scott Woodward didn't read the contract, so O would get egg on his face. I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. Arclay says Ash would be a sneaky good hire. He could, but look, I don't know where they're going to go here. They might go back into the NFL, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't want Will Muschamp. I don't want Jeremy Pruitt. You know, you've already had one ex-LSU coordinator in here, and you fired him, and you told him he wasn't coming back after the Auburn game. Think about this. This is where I'm going to give Edo some pushback here. He's had two coordinators, under his coaching tillage. In Matt Canada and Bo Pelini, that everybody knew that they would be fired midway through the season. How about those apples? Ricola. Aaron Webb says, ask Blake, throwing the big fat bag at Jim Leonard. They already went after Jim Leonard, the Wisconsin DC. He's not leaving. They talked to him. Randy says, go get Ryan Clark. You want to talk about a dysfunction. Him and Ed Orgeron don't like each other at all. Angela says, cannot connect. Cheers. Sorry about that, Angela. I don't know what's going on. Let me see. My connection's good over here. It looks like everybody else has connection. Steven says, glad you ain't got the Rona. No, not the Rona. Just a small sinus infection, man. Ryan says, hate sinus infections. Yeah, man. They're irritating. Like, I'm perfectly fine. I'll tell you this. If I wasn't feeling good, I wouldn't come out here. Holland just said this. He says, UAB's DC Reeves. That's who I would go after. Hey, man, let's go pay this man. I'm getting so frustrated. Seriously, guys, and girls, I am getting so frustrated running my happy ass out here and having to go through this shit. I want to talk about positive stuff, but we can't because it's always a poo-poo show. But yes, I would go get Reeves. Reeves would be my guy. But that's me. But they've had their opportunities to go get him. And they didn't. But I'll tell you this, that would be a very, 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 very solid hire. I would get behind that one. I've seen a couple people mentioning this. Bundy says Matt Patricia. Nah. A man that gets a pencil and writes on a laminated paper will never be my DC. My sister, Miss Dr. Courtney Putnam. Yes, she's a doctor. I just come on here and talk, man. She's so much smarter than I am. She says, Blake Ruffino for DC. Hey, man, if any of y'all want to know Ed Orgeron really close, tell him I'd take the DC opening. Tell him he can pay me $500,000 a year, and I'll do it. And a lifetime supply of canes from LSU. All right, we got the basketball game that's coming up. Let's just talk about this very quickly. We'll keep talking about this. I'll keep getting to your comments. I want, and I pray to God, ladies and gentlemen, on everything that I love, I hope LSU comes out here tonight at 8 o'clock and, as The Rock would say, lay it the smack it down on their candy behinds. I can't stand them. It's going to be a very good game and a very entertaining game. Alabama lives and dies by the 3. LSU scores a lot of points. Alabama scores a lot of points. I really do think whoever can get the second chance points and get the dirty points, I think is going to win the game. That's what I think is going to happen. That's what I feel it's going to come down to. I really feel like that's what it's going to come down to. And I think LSU's a little bit longer in some areas. And if they can get those really dirty points, second, third chance points, I think they win tonight. And I think that I really think that they can handle Bama with some of the length. But we'll see, because they love to go out there and start shooting. But if they don't, it means that they didn't play good defensively. They weren't locked in defensively, and Alabama got extremely hot and was hitting a lot of shots. So that's like, now that I think about what I just said, I know what I'm trying to say in my head, but it's like, hey, if Alabama makes more buckets than LSU, they're going to win. That's not what I meant. Carl Dunn says 102 to 101 final. It could be, man. It could be. It feels like it could be in the 90s. It honestly feels, Carl, that whoever gets the 91st might win. As crazy as that sounds. Let's see. Neil says on YouTube, Neil's in the running for the $100 gift card giveaway because he went to Are You Serious Sports on YouTube and subscribed and hit the notification bell. Neil says, ask Blake, go get yourself a Navage for your sinuses. Go check it out. I might have to do that. I'm going to have to do that, man. Casey Thibodeau says, go get someone that's not represented by Jimmy Sexton. Man, Jimmy Sexton has screwed. I mean, screwed LSU this coaching cycle. Sheesh. I mean, big time. Yep, boot up. Aaron Webb on Facebook Live says, ask Blake, so who is coaching defense at football school without a defensive staff? Ed Orgeron is. Yeah, Ed Orgeron and Corey Raymond. Brandon Hollingsworth, my guy, he says, boot the frick up. Let's go. It's going to be a fun game, man. It's going to be a really, really fun game. I'm looking forward to it. Chris asks, is O'Neal back yet? I don't think he's back yet. No. I'm pretty sure he's not back yet. Mark says Woodford is good for 6 turnovers. Yeah, but if he gets a lot of points, it's able to get some dirty rebounds and some dirty points in the paint, I'm good with it. John Adams says the over-under is at 165. Is that true? I can believe it. John, I can believe it. I didn't look at it today. I don't bet during the week. My wife tells me I can't. Let's see. I saw a question here that I thought was pretty good. Robert Law says, ask Blake, I'm getting here late, so if I missed it, but sorry if I missed it, but if Coach O promotes from within instead of going after someone else, it doesn't work out. Is he done as a head coach? He's not done as a head coach if it works, but who's he going to promote from within? I mean, Corey Raymond, Christian Lacouture, but that's not going to happen. If he was going to promote Corey Raymond, it would have already happened. But they called Corey Raymond's, just letting y'all know right now, they already called out Corey Raymond's bluff about going to Texas. So you want more money? Sorry about you, brother. Val Browning says Sexton is good at his job. Yeah, he is, but he's really screwed LSU this cycle for his number one client, Nick Saban. Ashton says Corey Raymond for DC. No, not going to happen. Travis says, ask Blake, what is the deadline for Gilbert to make his decision if he's staying or something or going? Travis, it's a really good question that I don't know the answer to, brother. I wish I knew the answer to that question. I would be lying to you if I told you the answer to that question. No clue whatsoever. I'll find that out. I'll try to find that out. But there does kind of have to feel like a deadline, doesn't it? That kid needs to make a decision. Stephen Miller says to Travis, think that ship has sailed, in my opinion. Talking about Gilbert to LSU. Possibly. Very possibly. Did you guys see that LSU's baseball schedule came out today? God, I'm so ready. I don't know how all y'all feel about baseball, but I love it. Shout out to Coach Jeff Tajan again for the Tony Robo Show Award for Ethics. Man, some big series. And LSU's going all around Louisiana. I think they're going to UNO. I think they're going to Lafayette. I forget. Are they going to La Tech maybe? I should have pulled that schedule up. But there's some big, big weekends in the box. And I hope that they'll allow more fans in. Vandy's coming to town. You missed Florida, which is huge. You don't have a weekend series with Florida. Absolutely huge. But that LSU Vandy series in the box is going to be huge. It's going to be a big weekend because you'll have Jaden Hill, Kamar Rocker, the leader kid who's going to be a top 25 pick, Landon Marceau, AJ Labus. Like it's going to be very fun. So, and I'm glad that they're playing the entire schedule. Look, if you got to make up a game, go make up a game. I mean, those kids didn't have hardly a season at all, and probably one of the more screwed up, stuff that happened to kids last year in reference to playing than anybody. I'm glad that they're going to get the opportunity. And I think Stephen Miller said something today. I think, was it 31 days away? 31 days away. That's pretty awesome. Stephen Miller says, Esteban, if he lets Ricks get out of LSU, then I'm ready to wash my hands of him. Yeah, there is some talk about Eli Ricks transferring, but because he deleted all of his stuff on Twitter, on Instagram, all LSU stuff. Man, if that kid wants to transfer, if these kids want to transfer, I've kind of had it. Go, man, go. And I don't like poo-pooing on kids, but I don't like kids quitting either. Tyler Mann says, ask Blake, are there any defensive assistance positions coaches at any Power 5 schools you'd like for us to target? Position coaches. Yeah, but I feel like there are schools that are unattainable. The ones that I would want, you can't go get them unless you throw ungodly money at them, which LSU's not going to do right now. They're not going to do it. Joey on Periscope says, you think Woodward is going to let O take the fall and then make a home run head coaching hire? It seems to be setting up that way, doesn't it? One thing that all of you need to know about us ADs is that they want to have their guy to come in. And Scott Woodward didn't have that chance. He has not been able to fire and hire anybody. And it's like a rabid dog with an itch. He's going to keep scratching it. He's going to keep scratching it until that itch is satisfied. It's a joke. But he needs to be careful what he's wishing for now. Because, look, I'm not backing out of Ed Orgeron's corner just yet. All right, let's get a couple more of these. Adam Keene says, ask Blake, do you think PM, I guess a pulmonary, will get fired after this year finally, and if we don't make it to the World Series? I think that's a tough ask. I think that his seat's going to be very hot if they don't get to Omaha, which is crazy because they got to the World Series in 2017. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. Cutthroat is LSU baseball. But yeah, I mean, I just hate that all the midweek losses. That drives me nuts. And what even drives me more nuts is the behemoths that are buffoons, I should say, that defend losing midweek games. Yeah, losing midweek games is okay. Losing's okay. Oh, because they're trying stuff out. Losing's never okay. Stephen Miller says they're going to ULL, UNO, and Tulane. Tulane was the other one. Thank you, Stephen. I forgot. Yep, February 24th. That's going to be a good day. It's going to be a fun day. Blake Villers, 33 on Periscope says, ask Blake, what is your gut feeling for the game tonight? I think we pull it out. That's my gut feeling too. And I hope we cremate these dudes, these goons. Man, I hate Alabama. With a passion. With a passion. Mikey says, see, I didn't mispronounce your name, says on Facebook Live, North Carolina's DC, Tommy Thigpen. Hey, go get him. Go get somebody. The two guys you wanted, actually the three guys that they wanted, Marcus Freeman, Barry Odom, and Ryan Nielsen. Bye-bye. You missed on all of them. See ya. Anyway. All right, guys, let's go get ready for this game. It's about 10 minutes out. My name is Blake Ruffino. This is Are You Serious Sports. Don't forget to rate and subscribe to everywhere you listen to podcasts. And don't forget to go subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We will see you tomorrow, guys. Have a good night. Go Tigers. Go Tigers.